Hello, everyone. Welcome, welcome. Don't know where my avatar's at. But I will just keep going on. Here we go. The story is very, very shocking, very educational. I found this on the Law and Crime Network. So without further ado, please listen with me. It's very hard. Trigger warning. It's very, 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 very hard to listen to. And thank you all so much for being here. I really, really, really appreciate it.
Was pregnant. The district attorney pushed back on that, saying the 11-year-old was, quote, petite. So it would be pretty obvious if a girl that small would be pregnant for a full 9 months leading up to the birth of this child. They say happened on August 16th of this year. Now, we found old Facebook pages for this couple. Dustin is 34 years old. Sherry is 33. Many of the pictures show them holding young children. A neighbor to the couple told KJRH TV that 6 children in total, including that 11-year-old girl, lived in this home along with several dogs and cats. They say this was a very disturbing situation playing out in this home even before this young girl gave birth to a child. The neighbor said that this couple did not have running water in their house for the last 2, maybe 3 years. Now, at first, the Walkers were charged with 6 counts of neglect, and it appears that is a charge of neglect for each child living inside this home. But then there was a major development this week on top of what was already a major story. The paternity test came back on that baby that the 11-year-old gave birth to, and the district attorney told KWTW that the results show that the girl's stepdad, Dustin Walker, is that baby's father. He now faces a charge of sexual abuse of a child under the age of 12. Sherry is also facing an additional charge of enabling sexual abuse. Now, it doesn't appear that Sherry has a criminal history. We did find 2 cases in Oklahoma court records involving Dustin Walker. One of them is from 2020. He was charged with firing a gun inside his home. That case appears to have ended in what appears to be a fine of some sort, and records show that the case was sent to collections when the money wasn't paid. In 2023, Dustin was also charged, this time with domestic assault and battery in the presence of a minor, but that case was dismissed according to Oklahoma court records that are available online. Both the Walkers are now being held on $100,000 bonds. The DA told KWTW that both parents could spend the rest of their lives in prison if they're convicted, if these allegations that are so incredibly shocking are actually true. As for that young girl who allegedly gave birth inside this home, a home that didn't even have running water, according to that neighbor, the district attorney.
Wow, imagine that. They didn't even have running water. That's very, very sad. This is her own stepfather. And one of the other grandparents, there's also a lot of other articles online, and that grandparent said they did not know what was going on.
Says that young girl is traumatized, understandably so. That girl had to give birth inside that home without any medical care. Allegedly, it was Sherry, the mom, who delivered the baby. But then EMTs were called, and that's how this situation was discovered inside this home. Not to mention, that young 11-year-old girl, according to the district attorney, had not seen a doctor in more than a year. She wasn't in school either. So there was no way that people outside of this home could have known that this was happening, at least that we know about. It appears that she was kept off the radar, because you think of whether she was brought to a doctor or to a school, people there could have intervened and could have helped. Instead, she was allegedly kept out of sight. Join us now to talk a little bit more about this story is practice professor of law at Temple University, Marian Bracha. Great to always have you on Law and Crime. Such a difficult story we're talking about.